The day when my two daughters-in-law, who always pretended to adore my two sons but in reality were squandering their money, decided to fake their deaths and disappear. I grabbed them and refused to let them leave. Not unless you take me with you to fake my death too. They told me the female lead, who had just returned to the country, wasn't just the goddess of my two sons, she was also the biological daughter of my husband Simon's first love. The father and son's trio had been scheming to get me to adopt her as my goddaughter. I wasn't supposed to find out the truth until I turned 70, but I'm only 50 now. Pfft, why the hell should I have to endure another 20 years? I decided to die on the way as the father and sons went to rescue the heroine. Let them live the rest of their lives racked with guilt. In the end, Simon went mad. My two sons were filled with eternal regret. And my two daughters-in-law? They took me to enjoy the rest of our morally bankrupt lives. 10 young male masseurs surrounded us, massaging our bodies, feeding us fruit by hand. Chapter 1. Only at the age of 50 did I overhear it from my two daughters-in-law. The heroine, Monica, was about to return from abroad, and she turned out to be the daughter of my husband Simon's first love, Diana. The two daughters-in-law had decided to run away. The elder daughter-in-law stuffed diamonds, gold, jade, everything, into a suitcase. I don't want to end up like mother-in-law did. I want a divorce. What about you? The younger daughter-in-law was fiddling with her phone. If you're leaving, I'm leaving too. I'm not about to raise two sons, only to watch them fall in love with their father's mistress's daughter. Hang on. Let me check how much I've managed to squeeze out of Paul in these 3 years of marriage. Ha! My secret stash has 5 million yuan and 7 cents. That's more than enough for us to live the good life. So tell me, how do we get divorced? You think those two bastards Paul and Victor will actually agree? The elder daughter-in-law thought long and hard. If we just straight up ask for a divorce, no way they'll say yes. They might even freeze our bank cards. You'd be sitting on 5 million, and not be able to spend a cent of it. Back when Diana returned to the country, mother-in-law asked for a divorce too, but Simon refused, and even froze her private savings. She didn't even have enough to rent an apartment. Then she found out she was pregnant, twins. For the sake of the kids, she had no choice but to stay by Simon's side. But she never would have imagined. 5 years later, Simon was always taking the boys overseas on so-called business trips, claiming it was to develop their business acumen from a young age. In reality, he was taking them to spend time with Diana's daughter. He even had the boys treat her like a real sister. So the two brothers grew up as childhood sweethearts with Monica. According to the script, once Monica returns to the country, the father and sons will once again manipulate mother-in-law into adopting Monica as her goddaughter and shower her with love and attention. And what'll happen to us? No more lavish days of wine and luxury. So why don't we just fake our deaths and escape? The younger daughter-in-law readily agreed. Sounds good. I'll go pack up all my gold and jewelry now. In these 3 years of youth, I maxed out Paul's credit card shopping. Even if I just sell the jewelry, bags, and brand name stuff, I'll still be set for life. No way we're starving. She turned and walked out of the elder daughter-in-law's room, only to come face to face with me, standing at the door, eavesdropping. Her face turned pale with shock. Stammering, she asked, "Mom, how much did you hear?" I felt like I had fallen into an icy pit, but my chest was burning as if lit on fire, trapped in a storm of ice and flame. I clenched my fists tightly and asked, "Is everything you said true? That Monica, she's really Diana's daughter?" The younger daughter-in-law looked helplessly back at the elder one for help. What do we do now? Will mother-in-law tell Paul and Victor and stop us from faking our deaths? I grabbed them both by the arms and yanked hard. Damn right, I'll expose you, unless you take me with you to fake our deaths and leave together. Chapter 2. Last night, Simon told me, "Darling, haven't you always wanted a daughter? A friend of mine abroad just passed away, leaving behind his only daughter, all alone. She's returning to the country soon. Why don't we adopt her as our goddaughter? Let her live with us, be your sweet little girl?" Victor and Paul were there too, and they chimed in right away. "Yeah, Mom, her name's Monica. She's amazing at winning over elders. You're gonna love her." Ha, how lovely. The 3 people I loved most in this world were plotting behind my back, stabbing me in the heart together. No wonder my eldest son came home this morning and had a huge fight with his wife. He grabbed her by the throat, eyes bloodshot. and shouted. Monica disappeared the moment she got off the plane. Did you have someone kidnap her? I rushed over and yelled for him to let go. I asked if there had been some misunderstanding, but Simon dragged me aside. Even angrier than our son. What misunderstanding could there be? Tell us. Daughter-in-law, where the hell did you take Monica? No wonder Simon was more agitated than Paul. So Monica was actually the daughter of his first love, Diana. The memories came flooding back. Suddenly I remembered a conversation between Victor and Paul when they were 5. Daddy, can Monica's mommy be our mommy too? We really want Monica's mommy to be our mommy. That way Monica can be our sister and live with us. We want to play with Monica and protect her forever. I had asked curiously. Who's Monica? I remember Simon immediately scolded the kids sternly. Don't talk nonsense. Then he turned to me and explained. She's just a friend's daughter from abroad. Super cute. These 2 little punks took one look at her and got obsessed, fighting over who gets to be her big brother. I had overlooked how shifty his eyes were back then. How guilty he sounded. What a joke it all was. I sacrificed my own career, my dreams, devoted everything to that man and our sons. And this is how they repay me? My knees almost gave out. I felt like all strength had drained from my body. I looked over at my 2 clear-headed, razor-sharp daughters-in-law. When a man loves them, they shop till they drop. When he stops loving them, they pack their gold and jewels and leave without a second thought. Compared to them, I suddenly realized, I must be the biggest idiot on the planet, afraid they'd think I was too old and wouldn't want me to join them in their death-faking escape. I hardened my heart and said, Simon's safe has 100 gold bars, each 500 grams. If you take me with you, I'll empty that safe for you right now. From now on, whatever you want to eat, drink, or buy, I'll foot the bill. Chapter 3. My 2 daughters-in-law's eyes lit up instantly. They practically wanted to cling to my legs in gratitude. The elder daughter-in-law said, Mother-in-law, truth is, we've been dying to pull you in and flip this whole damn plot. Let's be honest with you now. Both of us can actually foresee how the story unfolds. 3 years ago, my best friend and I were in a car crash in our original world. We transmigrated here and married into the Song family. The system assigned me to conquer the domineering CEO older brother, and she was to conquer the brilliant surgeon younger brother. But once the real heroine Monica returns, your 2 sons will act like they're possessed, completely obsessed with her. They'll even manipulate you into making her your goddaughter and letting her live in your home. You always dreamed of having a daughter, but only gave birth to 2 sons. Diana's daughter fills that void perfectly, and you'll spoil Monica rotten, buying her anything she wants. You won't discover the truth about her identity until you're 70. Then, you'll be so furious you'll finally divorce Simon. But honestly, what's the point in waiting that long? Better to wake up now, and get out early. The younger daughter-in-law clenched her jaw and added, She's right, Mom. If you really want a daughter, why not just treat us like your daughters? We'll take you with us and live it up, live a shameless, decadent life. As long as we've got money, we can find as many obedient toy boys and hot young studs as we want. Last time, me and Big Sis went to a foot spa and ordered 10 handsome guys to serve us massages, wine, snacks. It was divine. Next time we'll take you with us. Way better than slaving away for some crusty old man like Simon. Isn't it? Yeah, 3-legged toads are hard to find, but 2-legged men are everywhere. Why the hell should I waste my entire life on those 3 ungrateful wolves? My heart felt cold and bitter, but a twisted little smile rose through my tears. All right, I said. I'll go clean out the stash those 3 bastards have been hiding. Then we'll leave, together. Chapter 4. I went to the bedroom to rob Simon's safe. Exactly 100 gold bars. Each one 500 grams, I stuffed every last one into a suitcase. Just as I was reaching for the final bar, my hand brushed against a hidden button. Click. A secret compartment popped open. Inside was an old photograph. The background showed a stunningly beautiful ski resort. There were 5 people on the slope. 2 boys were teaching a little girl to ski. The 2 adults, unmistakably a young Simon and Diana. In the photo, Simon looked dashing and charming, while Diana stood beside him, youthful, long hair flying in the wind. The picture had clearly been taken candidly. They looked like the perfect, happy family of 5. My fingers trembled as I held the photo. My pupils contracted in shock. My whole body shook uncontrollably. This hurt even more than hearing what the daughters-in-law had said. It struck straight to the heart. So it was all true. Everything they'd said was true. I wanted to storm over to Simon and slap this photo in his face. Scream at him, "Why would you do this to me? It wasn't like I ever refused to divorce you back then. Why cling to me so stubbornly, while secretly sneaking our sons off to meet with Diana? Why have them treat her daughter like some kind of treasure? It's disgusting. I feel sick to my stomach." Suddenly, a deep voice came from behind me. "What are you doing at the safe? Why are you taking all the gold bars?" Chapter 5. It was Simon. I jolted in fright, terrified he had discovered my plan ahead of time. Before he could even question me, I took the offensive. I threw the photo in his face, eyes brimming with tears. "What's this? You explain it to me." "Simon, how could you treat me like this?" Simon's eyes flickered guiltily for a split second, but he quickly slipped back into that calm, superior demeanor of his. "It's just an old photo. Don't get so worked up. It's ancient history, not worth mentioning." Seeing my red, tearful eyes, Simon softened his tone. "If you really want an explanation, fine, I'll tell you. Back then, Diana's daughter was diagnosed with a rare type of autism. Her therapist said that spending more time with children her age would help. I just felt bad for the kid. That's why I took our 2 sons to go skiing with Diana and her daughter. That's all there is to it. There was nothing going on between me and her. Even now, he's still lying to me. If there was really nothing between you two, why did you hide this photo in a secret compartment of your safe?" My heart felt like it had been pierced with a knife. I fought back the tears that were threatening to fall and said, "Let's get a divorce." Simon's pupils shrank in shock. "What did you say?" I zipped up the suitcase, my heart cold and broken. I said, "Divorce. I'll take the gold bars, you can have the rest." "You're not losing anything." Simon flew into a rage, shouting at me, "Laura, are you insane? I'm giving you one last chance. Take back what you just said." "No need." I laughed bitterly, my soul numb. "I'm not insane. That missing girl you're all so desperate to find, Monica, she's the same girl from this photo. Isn't she? And you still wanted me to adopt her as my goddaughter?" "Simon, what the hell is wrong with you? Are you even human? If you want her to be your daughter so badly, then fine, I'll step aside. I'll make way for her. Isn't that what you wanted?" Simon panicked. He became the same domineering man from our younger years, pulling me roughly into his arms. He grabbed the photo from my hand, threw it to the floor, and stomped on it with his leather shoes. Hard, twice. "See? I don't care about that stupid photo at all. Stop this nonsense. Be good." I shoved him away, hard. With all the strength I had left in me, I slapped him across the face. I didn't want to be good anymore. "Laura, don't you walk away from me." Dragging a suitcase filled with 100 gold bars behind me, I ran like hell, faster than a rabbit on rocket fuel. Chapter 6. Simon chased me all the way to the staircase and shouted at our sons, "Paul, Victor, hurry. Stop your mom. She wants to divorce me." Paul and Victor were both in the living room, frantically making calls, pulling every string they could to locate Monica. Hearing Simon's shout, Victor stepped forward and blocked my path, opening his mouth only to blame me. "Mom, I'm already losing my mind over Monica. What are you trying to stir up now?" I slapped my eldest son's hand away. "Don't call me mom ever again. I don't have a son like you." Then Paul came over too, blocking my way with a strange look in his eyes. "Mom, Monica's missing. Big Bro and I are doing everything we can to find her. Can't you stop making things worse right now? Hasn't Dad always spoiled you enough? Why are you suddenly asking for a divorce? Are you cutting off Big Bro too? You're not gonna cut me off too, are you?" I was furious, on the verge of bursting. My heart felt crushed with injustice. The tears came, and I shouted, "That's right. I'm cutting you off too. Husband, sons, I don't want any of you anymore. If Monica means so much to you, then go ask Diana to be your mother. I'm out. I'm making way for your happy little family of 5. Isn't that what you all want?" I had exposed their deepest secret, and yet neither of them even flinched. Paul went quiet for a moment, then chuckled coolly. "So that's why you're mad, Mom? We didn't tell you who Monica's mom was because we didn't want you overthinking things. Honestly, Dad hasn't been in touch with Aunt Diana in years. We barely talked to Monica either. If she hadn't called out of the blue 2 weeks ago, saying her mother had died of a serious illness and that she was alone and wanted to return to China, I would have forgotten what she even looks like. Why get so hung up over something like this? Don't you care what the relatives and neighbors will say when they find out? Such eloquence. My son, bravo. But I only felt cold to the bone. And it was so damn funny. Oh, so now, this is somehow my fault? No wonder the three of them were so eager to have me adopt Monica as my goddaughter. Turns out her real mom had died. And now they're looking for me to step in, pick up the slack, and keep funneling motherly love into this girl like some emotional blood bag. Just the thought that I'd spend the next 20 years holding Diana's daughter in the palm of my hand, spoiling her like a princess. It made me tremble with rage. I had to run. If they want a sucker, let them find someone else. Because it sure as hell won't be me. Chapter 7. My elder and younger daughters-in-law heard the commotion and rushed to the living room. They quickly stepped in to break up the fight, pretending to play peacemakers, while secretly whispering to me, "Mother-in-law, didn't we agree to fake our deaths together? Why are you going off script?" I whispered back bitterly, full of frustration. Plans changed faster than I expected. Simon caught me red-handed while I was robbing the gold bars. What do we do now? I'm carrying 100 gold bars, I can't just put them back. Back then, when I tried to divorce him, it failed because I didn't have a single cent to my name. I was defenseless from all sides. I'm not going to trip on the same stone twice. The elder daughter-in-law told me not to panic and quickly came up with a plan. Take the gold bars and head to Maple Leaf Mountain first. We'll follow you later. I nodded. Then, to keep up appearances, I pushed the elder daughter-in-law hard and shouted with heartbreak, "Don't try to stop me. I am getting divorced today." She let out a dramatic ow and collapsed onto the floor. The younger daughter-in-law rushed over and clung to my leg. "Mom, calm down, you have to calm down." I gave her a pretend kick. "Get off me. No one can stop me. I'm leaving right now." The younger daughter-in-law didn't disappoint, her acting was just as good. She tumbled backwards with an exaggerated roll, spinning 3 full times across the floor. Simon finally couldn't take it anymore. He growled, "No one stop her. She's being completely irrational. At her age, leaving her husband and kids. I want to see how long she can survive on her own." "Excuse me? My age? I'm 50, that's not old. I've still got decades ahead of me, plenty of time to start over. If I waited until 70 to divorce him, that's what would have been truly pathetic." Simon was convinced I'd make a scene for a few days and come crawling back. Instead, I faked my death. But even in death, I refused to make things easy for Diana's daughter. I had to leave a thorn right in Simon's heart, so that every time he sees Monica, he'll be haunted by the memory of my death. The elder daughter-in-law had a brilliant idea. "I know exactly how. We make sure you die on the way while Simon and the boys are out searching for Monica. Let them live with guilt for the rest of their lives." Chapter 8. That day, Paul and Victor finally found out where Monica was, Simon included. The 3 of them rushed out anxiously to rescue her. The elder daughter-in-law called me, "Mother-in-law, this is it. Time to fake your death." Turns out, Monica was never kidnapped at all. She got off the plane and snuck away for a vacation at Maple Leaf Mountain on purpose, just to make your husband and sons panic. Well, if she wants to play big, then let's show her what real drama looks like. I said okay, so I deliberately drove along the scenic highway by the sea, pretending to go on a relaxing solo drive. Then, bang, the car crashed into the cliffside guardrail. It teetered on the edge. One wrong move, and it would plunge straight into the ocean. Even though my daughter-in-law had already arranged for divers to wait underwater and save me, that moment of near death was still terrifying. So terrifying I wished Simon and my sons would appear right then, to save me. I remembered how painful childbirth had been. It didn't even compare to this. Back then, Simon had placed both newborns beside me on the hospital bed, kissing my forehead, eyes full of joy. "Wife, look, these are the 2 sons you gave me. You went through hell for them. I'll make sure they grow up to love you with all their heart. If they don't, I'll beat the crap out of them myself." But now, here I was, sitting in a car dangling off a cliff, calling Simon's phone. And Simon, cold as ice, hung up on me. I called 3 times. He didn't answer once. Then I tried my eldest son, Victor. He picked up. But before I could say anything, he sounded annoyed. Mom, I don't have time to talk right now. Whatever it is, I'll call you back later. Then he hung up. I placed all my remaining hope on my younger son, Paul. His tone was even more impatient. Mom, can you please stop blowing up my phone? Me, Dad, and Victor are dealing with something urgent right now. If you regret the divorce, just go home and cool off. I hadn't even had time to say the words help me before he hung up too. That moment, a freezing cold spread through my entire body. So this was the truth. If I really had crashed into the ocean and died, not a single one of them would have rushed to save me. These were the 3 men I'd spent half my life caring for. And as the car tipped over the edge and plunged toward the sea, my heart went cold, truly cold, bone deep. Chapter 9. The day they brought Monica back from Maple Leaf Mountain, news of my death shot straight to the top of the trending list. 3 women from a wealthy family fall into the sea and die one after another. Where were their husbands? A massive crowd of reporters and influencers camped outside the Song family villa, broadcasting the entire story to the world. A reporter in the live stream spoke confidently. According to the latest investigation, the first person presumed dead was the matriarch of the wealthy Song family, Laura. Rescue teams searched the sea for 3 full days without finding her body. Eventually, they called off the search and declared her presumed dead. But the 2 daughters-in-law refused to give up. They took a speedboat out to continue the search day and night. Tragically, that night, the sea was stormy, and their boat was overturned. The 2 daughters-in-law also drowned. So now the question is, where were the husbands? Sources claim this all started with a mysterious disappearance involving a young woman. The moment Simon and the 2 sons stepped out of the car with Monica, reporters swarmed forward. One reporter aimed a mic at Simon Song and asked sharply, Mr. Song, your wife was presumed dead. Why didn't you join the rescue operation? Another turned to Victor. Young Mr. Song, we heard your mother tried to call you right before the accident. Why didn't you rush to her aid? Is your own mother less important to you than another woman? Another microphone was shoved in Paul's face. Dr. Song, you're a renowned surgeon, you've saved countless lives. Why didn't you try to save your own mother? Now that she's gone, how do you feel? Even Monica, the so-called missing girl, wasn't spared. A reporter grabbed her too. Miss Monica, why did you fake your disappearance? Did you know that because they were rushing to find you, Mrs. Song lost her only chance to survive? A barrage of questions came like bullets. All 4 of them were caught off guard, completely stunned. Then, a moment later, Simon laughed. He pointed at the reporter questioning him. How much did my wife pay you to pull this prank? I get it, she's regretting asking for a divorce, right? She wants me to panic, right? This is her way of making me beg her, apologize, kneel on a washboard and crawl back to her, right? Fine, I'll go pick her up from the hotel right now. There's no shame in coaxing your wife, I'll go. Victor scoffed too. Mom is too much, honestly. At her age, still playing the drama queen, crying, yelling, faking suicide? But hey, she's still my mom. I'll go admit my mistake right now. Paul quickly caught on. Dad, big bro, I'll go with you. I didn't care enough about Mom before because I was worried about Monica. I'll go apologize now. He turned to the butler and said, take good care of Monica while we're gone. But the butler stepped forward, eyes swollen from crying, grief written all over his face. Sir. Young Masters, why are you only just getting back now? I tried to call you. I couldn't get through. Something terrible has happened, madam. And both young madams, they're gone. Simon roared. Shut up. How could Laura be dead? After she left, she checked into a 5-star hotel. She's been living it up. Then the butler opened his phone and played the surveillance footage of my car accident. Sir, see for yourself. Madam, really, she's really gone. Before the butler could finish his sentence, Victor suddenly shouted, Dad. Because Simon had seen the video, he watched as my car plunged off the cliff into the sea. His pupils dilated in shock. His body swayed violently. almost collapsing to the ground. Chapter 10. The sound of police sirens wailed. Approaching from afar, 2 police cars drove over. The officers got out and proceeded with standard procedure. At last, we've gotten in contact with you 3. Mr. Song, we traced the last few calls your wife made before her death. They were to you and your 2 sons. Can you explain why none of you called the police? The section of road where the accident occurred usually sees very little traffic. It wasn't until half an hour after she fell into the ocean that a passing vehicle noticed the broken guardrail and suspected a crash had occurred, prompting them to call 110. By then, it had already been 30 minutes since the accident. Even if a rescue team had been dispatched immediately, it would have been too late. Not even a miracle could have saved her. She must have been calling to tell you she had been in an accident. If you knew she was in trouble, why didn't you call for help right away? Why didn't you alert emergency services and arrange for a rescue team? What were her final words to you? These words were like the sharpest blade, plunging straight into the hearts of all 3 men. Victor's legs gave out beneath him. He staggered back several steps. I didn't even give my mom a chance to speak. My mind was consumed with getting to Monica as fast as I could. I thought Monica had been kidnapped, so I hung up on my mom in a hurry. She must have been trying to get me to save her. She must have been calling for help. Paul began slapping himself repeatedly. I didn't give my mom a chance to talk either. I just hung up on her. I was even annoyed that she kept calling me, thinking she was wasting my time when I needed to go save Monica. I was so impatient. Why couldn't I have just slowed down and listened? Maybe I would have heard her say help me. But the most devastated of all was Simon. You 2 were still better than me. I'm the one who should be blamed the most. Laura called me several times. I didn't pick up even once. How hopeless and terrified must she have felt? Falling into the sea? I told her I'd love her for a lifetime, protect her forever. But when she needed me most, where was I? The officers seemed to understand now, and pointed at Monica. This Monica you keep mentioning, is she this young lady here? Are you saying that because she was kidnapped, the 3 of you had no time for anything else? You've been out of contact for days because you were trying to rescue her? Who kidnapped her? This was what haunted the father and sons with the deepest regret. Simon spoke up. She wasn't kidnapped. She just went on a trip to Maple Leaf Mountain. But her phone was off, and we couldn't reach her. We were panicking, worried something might have happened. The officer understood now. So what you're saying is, you neglected to save your wife because you were busy worrying about a girl who was just traveling? As a result, it took half an hour before anyone realized she had fallen into the sea. Simon and his 2 sons turned their heads simultaneously to look at Monica. Monica panicked, shaking her head quickly. No, it has nothing to do with me. Uncle Song brothers, it really has nothing to do with me. Please don't blame me for this. I was just on a trip. You were the ones who didn't answer her calls. Chapter 11. It would have been better if she hadn't said that last sentence, but she did. That line was like rubbing salt into the gaping wound in Simon's heart. Simon's guilt and regret boiled over into misplaced anger. You went traveling, but couldn't bother to tell us beforehand? You knew your 2 brothers were going to pick you up at the airport. Even a quick message to them would have been enough. Monica, of course, had no way to explain. Because she did it on purpose. She wanted people to worry about her, to search the whole world for her. She relished the feeling of being valued and missed. Still, she desperately tried to justify herself. Both of my brothers are married. I was afraid their wives wouldn't like me. That's why I didn't want to bother them and chose to go to the mountains alone to clear my head. The butler suddenly asked a pointed question. Miss, if you really didn't want to bother anyone, why did you call both young Master 1 and young Master 2 and clearly inform them you were coming back? You even told them your exact flight details. Weren't you clearly hoping they'd pick you up at the airport? And now you're turning around and blaming the 2 young madams, saying they couldn't accept you? Those 2 women gave their lives trying to save Madam. They died at sea. And you're still slandering them behind their backs, calling them petty? Do you even have a conscience? The gathered reporters and online influencers all agreed with the butler. She's the one who caused all this, and still won't own up to it. Word is, she's Mr. Song's first love's daughter. It was because of her that Mrs. Song and Mr. Song were on the verge of divorce. Mrs. Song drove to the seaside alone in distress. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been an accident. And she still has the nerve to speak ill of the song Daughters-in-Law? Who else would keep looking day and night in a speedboat when even the official rescue team had given up? They died trying to find their mother-in-law. The butler's right. This woman's heart is pure poison. She's probably cursed ever since she came back to the country. Every woman in the Song family has died. Meanwhile, I was lying on the deck of a cruise ship with my 2 daughters-in-law, watching the live-streamed chaos from the reporters. Most of the manipulative, leading commentary from the journalists and influencers, paid for by my eldest daughter-in-law. I gave her a big thumbs up. These reporters are doing an excellent job, such well-crafted language. My Simon is obsessed with all that superstition and metaphysical nonsense. He won't even buy land without consulting a feng shui master first, and if the feng shui's bad, he won't touch it. So what do you think he'll do with a walking curse like her? I spat and added, and from now on, I need to stop calling him my Simon. He doesn't deserve it. Even if he was now on camera, looking utterly devastated and grief-stricken, he still didn't deserve it. Where were they when I needed them most? Regret that comes too late is worth less than dirt. What use is their guilt to me now? My second daughter-in-law said, "Pfft. I died and didn't even see my idiot husband mourn for me. From now on, he doesn't get to be my idiot husband anymore." Mother-in-law, big sis. What should we do now with our new shameless lives? My eldest daughter-in-law said. I haven't seen Victor shed a tear for me either. Ugh. Forget it, who even cares? I just saw a foot massage place on the ship. What do you say we order 3 sessions and ask for a few young, hot boy toys to come give us massages? I frowned slightly and said, foot massages? Aren't those kind of unsanitary? But half an hour later, I realized I had been way too uptight. 10 handsome young masseurs surrounded us, massaging our legs, feeding us fruit, pampering us like queens. That feeling. I finally understood why Simon and his sons always loved going to those massage parlors. Suddenly, bang! A loud crash. The 3 father and sons burst in, red-eyed and furious. I was so startled. My whole body jolted. Only then did I realize the puppy boys had pampered me so thoroughly that I dozed off into a cozy little nap. After I woke up, I gazed out at the endless sea and told my daughters-in-law, I want to live again. I want to pursue the dreams I had to give up for family. For motherhood. 50 years old is just halfway through life. For the rest of it, I'm going to live for myself. My eldest daughter-in-law said. Mother-in-law, I support you. The second daughter-in-law added. Me too. Mother-in-law, what's your dream? Chapter 12. When I was young, I stood by Simon as he built his empire from the ground up. I was every bit as capable as today's career elites. But once the Song family business stabilized, I had to step back to support Simon, to raise our 2 sons. I withdrew from the spotlight and became a full-time housewife for over 2 decades. Now, when outsiders talk about me, they're always dripping with jealousy. They say I'm lucky, I picked the right husband, gave birth to the right sons, that I won the game of life just by getting married. But if I had devoted those years to building a career instead, I would have won too, on my own terms. I want to start a business again. I want to show the world, don't be afraid. It's never too late for a woman to begin again. Chapter 13. 5 years later, I had settled down in Australia. One day, my eldest daughter-in-law suddenly called. Mom, run, fast. A reporter just posted your inspirational story online and it's going viral. The 3 of them, Simon and your sons, bought plane tickets and are rushing over here in a panic. I opened the link she sent me. The bold headline read, Power Woman, she started a business at 50 and got it listed in just 5 years. I hadn't even finished reading when my secretary knocked on the door and entered. Boss. Someone's insisting on seeing you. Security couldn't stop him, but he doesn't have an appointment. I waved my hand. Let him in. 5 years ago, I was indeed afraid Simon would find me. But not anymore, because a woman's greatest confidence comes from her own success. Back then, after learning that I and the 2 daughters-in-law had perished at sea, Simon refused to give up. He and our 2 sons hired rescue teams one after another to dredge the ocean. For 2 whole months, he refused to stop the search. He said, alive or dead, I must see her. I won't believe she's gone without a body. News reports said his hair turned white overnight, that he went mad with grief. Monica knelt in front of Simon, begging him to let go. Godfather, please grieve and move on. Even though godmother is gone, you still have me and your 2 sons. Simon shoved her away and held onto my photo with vacant, heartbroken eyes. Don't ever call me that again. Laura never agreed to let you be her goddaughter. She didn't want Victor or Paul to treat you as a sister either. I won't hurt her again. If she's watching, she'll be even more upset and refuse to let me find her. Leave the Song family. Don't show your face around me, Victor, or Paul ever again. It said Monica refused to leave, kneeling outside the Song family villa every day. But Simon, utterly broken, resolute in his grief, forbade her from ever stepping foot into the Song household again. Chapter 14. Monica had no choice but to pin all her hopes on my 2 sons, both of whom had long since lost their sense of judgment. But for some reason, this time, even Victor and Paul stayed silent. They turned a blind eye to Monica kneeling outside the house for an entire week. I used to think they didn't love their wives that deeply. Turns out, they were both utterly deranged. At one point, my eldest son was drinking himself into a stupor every day, depressed and disheveled, completely ignoring the company. Someone saw an opportunity and, during a business dinner, sent a girl who looked strikingly like his late wife to sit next to him. A classic stand-in canary, a substitute lover meant to mimic the real one. But to everyone's shock, my son flipped the entire table. He then used his connections to blacklist that person in the industry. In just 2 weeks, he drove the other party's company into bankruptcy. He even threw down the gauntlet. My wife was one of a kind. Do you really think you can replace her with some random lookalike? When I got wind of it, I asked my daughter-in-law how she felt. She popped a sunflower seed into her mouth and chuckled. Oh wow. Look at him playing the grieving romantic. Who's he performing for? When I was alive, where was all that passion? Why didn't he cut Monica off for my sake? Mom, don't blame me for being harsh, but in a man's eyes, only what he can't get or what he's lost forever seems worthy of devotion. And what the hell am I supposed to do with all that belated love? I'd rather order 2 young, handsome masseurs to pamper me instead, way more satisfying. Honestly, her words were nothing but the truth. Back then, Simon refused to divorce me, putting on the whole devoted husband act. Yet behind my back, he took our sons to go meet with Diana, the woman he never let go of. He lied to me for over 20 years, playing me like a fool. If I still let myself get moved now, that'd make me pathetic beyond measure. So when Simon barged into my office, ignoring the protests of my secretary, I didn't even look up. I just calmly tapped at my keyboard, printing out a divorce agreement. Time to finish what should have been done years ago. Simon stared at me, bloodshot eyes wide. Laura, why? Why did you lie to me? Why did you leave me in such a final, cruel way? Do you have any idea how much guilt I've been living with these years? The doctors say I have severe psychological trauma. Some even said I've gone mad. My hair turned white overnight. I've been on medication every day. Don't you feel even a little sorry for me? I sneered. You lied to me for over 2 decades. I only lied to you for 5 years. I'd say we're not even. Sign the papers. Don't even think about using your old tricks to force me back. Simon, you don't have that power over me anymore. He clutched the divorce agreement, voice trembling, full of desperate longing. Do our 25 years of being each other's everything mean nothing to you? I haven't gone near Monica in 5 years. Even when she begged me in tears, I stayed away. I know what made you angry, and I've stopped doing all of it. Laura, I've realized how wrong I was. Can't you at least look back? Just once? Not divorcing you back then, that was me giving you a chance. Too bad you didn't value it. He took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and shook his head resolutely. No, I won't sign. As long as I keep trying. I don't believe I can't win you back. I scoffed. Where the hell does he get this kind of confidence? Chapter 15. Later, my 2 daughters-in-law and I chatted about it in our group chat. Eldest daughter-in-law, Victor, came to me. He refuses to sign the divorce papers. Keeps sending me the trendiest jewelry. Yesterday, he even handed me a fat investment deal, trying to win me back. Second daughter-in-law, wait, don't tell me you're actually falling for it. Eldest daughter-in-law, please, not a chance. But I do enjoy watching him simp for me. I used to be the one simping for him. Now the tables have turned, kinda satisfying. So I'll enjoy the ride for a few days. What about you? Second daughter-in-law. I'm starting to think those brothers came up with this plan together. Paul won't divorce me either. Now he's flaunting his body in the gym, trying to seduce me with his abs. Eldest daughter-in-law. You're not falling for the eye candy, are you? Second daughter-in-law. Girl, I've seen way too many men to be impressed by that. Yesterday I invited 2 hot young guys to the gym. Paul didn't even get mad. He joined them, trying to outcompete for my attention. They were all flexing like alpha peacocks. It was hilarious. I'll enjoy it a bit longer before I'm out. Eldest daughter-in-law. What about you? Mom? Me. My sons are still young, whether you enjoy their puppy dog devotion or their 6-packs. There's still some benefit in it for you. But me? What does Simon have to offer me? His old man smell? Or the fact that he won't shower? Simon really was racking his brain trying to win me back. He didn't even chase me this hard when we were young. But when I look at the handsome young employees in my company, Simon's got zero chance. Even in terms of emotional support, he couldn't hold a candle to my secretary. 30 years old, sharp suit, always by my side. When I'm thirsty, he brings me coffee. When I'm hungry, he has snacks ready. Opens the car door, steams my suits for business trips, replies to texts instantly, answers calls 24/7, a master of every charm in the book, and better than Simon at all of them. And I've hired 7 such secretaries. That kind of respectful, eager to please energy towards someone in power? Delicious. It was my daughters-in-law who gave me the idea. They said, Mom, the moment you hire a few young, attractive male assistants, you'll get it. That kind of respect and attention no husband can ever match. The way a subordinate treats you well, it'll beat every man who ever tried to pursue you. Power is the best aphrodisiac. Chapter 16. Simon chased after me for 3 full years, trying to change my mind. He even had our sons come every few weeks to talk me into it. I scoffed. You two can't even handle your own love lives. And you're here to talk to me about family harmony? Get your wives back first. Then come preach. 6 months ago, my eldest daughter-in-law texted, Mom, I'm done. I'm sick of being chased by a simp. Bored now. I'm out. Maybe we'll cross paths again someday. My second daughter-in-law said, Same here. I've had my fun. I'm done. Out. Maybe we'll see each other down the road. I asked them where they were heading. Did they have enough money? Should I send them some? Eldest daughter-in-law. I'm good. Got plenty. These past 2 years I milked quite a bit from Victor. Enough for a lifetime of fun. Hee hee. You're not mad, are you, Mom? Honestly, I've long treated my daughters-in-law like my own daughters, and my own sons. More like disposable sons-in-law. Me. If he refuses to divorce, then whose money should you spend if not his? Second daughter-in-law. Paul, that seductive devil, still won't sign the papers. So I guess I'll keep running. Mom, Big Sis and I are going on a world tour. We'll have no fixed address. Don't try to find us. Me. All right. When you're done enjoying life, come visit me. Since then, the 2 of them vanished without a trace. Every now and then, I'd receive a postcard from somewhere around the globe. No signature, but I know it's from them. As for me, I didn't and wouldn't run. I had already filed for divorce with the court. The legal battle lasted 3 years. And now, finally, it was over. The court ruled. Our marriage was emotionally broken. Divorce granted. I also received half of our shared marital assets, a massive win. Right there in court, Simon collapsed. Overwhelmed. My sons begged me to go check on him. Begged me not to provoke him further. I smiled calmly, turned on my heel, and walked away, stepping out of the courthouse, into the warm, dazzling sunlight. My handsome young assistant and driver were waiting for me beside the car. At that moment, I was 58 years old, still 12 years ahead of 70. Time didn't fail me, and I won't fail time either.